Hello designers and welcome back to the Fusion 360 Explained by Akir course. In today's video we'll be taking a look at two things, parameters and appearances. So let's get down to work. Okay guys, so first up we will see parameters. Now you may be thinking, what exactly are parameters? Basically, they are certain measurements we give to our designs before starting to make them. Now, why would we want to do that, right? Well, there are some benefits using parameters gives to the design. Let's say, hypothetically, you're making a long project with lots and lots of steps in the timeline. However, in the middle of the project, you have realized that you gave the wrong measurement to a circle in the sketch. Now, as it is a long project with lots and lots of sketches in it, finding that particular sketch of that circle in the timeline and then editing it may be hard to do. Luckily for you, you are a smart designer, so instead of writing your measurements as you designed, as soon as you started the project, you created parameters for each one of the steps your design will have. This way, you can now go to the parameters and change the measurement of the circle directly there, and your whole design will now adapt to it. It's a pretty powerful tool, right? Now let's see how to create them in Fusion 360. It's a really simple process. First, head to the Modify tab and go to the bottom of it. Then, click on the Change Parameter option, the one that has that little FX icon next to it. A window will pop up. As you guys probably noticed, I have already created a parameter. Now we will see why. In the window, go to the top right corner of it and click on the User Parameter button. Then, another window will pop up asking for multiple things. Firstly, the name. In this case, I will give mine cylinder height. Then the unit of the measurements. Personally, I like using millimeters all the time, but you can change it to any unit you want to. After this, the expression, meaning the actual measurement of the parameter. Now, what is so useful about this is that you can not only write any measurement you want to, like 100 millimeters for example, but you can also add equations with multiple parameters connected to each other. For example, we can say this parameter will be equal to diameter circle, our other parameter, times 5, or plus 100, or even minus 5 millimeters. The possibilities parameter give us are infinite. Now in this case, I will keep diameter circle times 5. Then, you can also leave a comment to the parameter for you to remember later what the parameter is. For example, this is the height of the circle. Click on OK and your parameter will be created. As you guys can see, it has been added to the project. Now click again OK to close the window and let's start using our new parameters. Okay guys, so the parameters I just created are meant to be for a cylinder. So let's start creating it. To do it, go to Create and then click on the Create Sketch. This will allow us to create the two-dimensional sketch. Then click the horizontal plane and we will enter sketch mode. Perfect. Now I'll create this circle. To do this, go to Create, Circle, and click on Center Diameter Circle. Then I'll go to the middle of the plane, click it and draw it out. Now normally we draw it out as much as we like to, but today as we have the parameters, what we can do is that we can, instead of writing any measurement we want to, write the name of the parameter. So in this case, circle diameter. As you guys can see, it already appears here. So just click enter, then enter again. And as you guys can see, the parameter has been applied to this circle. Now click on finish sketch to finish the sketch. Next up, we have to extrude the sketch. To do this, go to create and then click on the extrude option. I will choose this sketch, and normally, again, we will drag it out. But this time we will write the name of the parameter we already added, which is called cylinder height. There we go. Now, as you guys can see, this cylinder has been done completely with measurements that we have on our parameters list. So now, if we want to change anything, we don't have to go to the timeline and click on edit feature. We can just go to modify, change parameters, and double click anything we want to change. For example, instead of the circle diameter being 10 millimeters, double click here and we can change it to 20. Then instead of the cylinder height being circle diameter times 5, we can double click here and make it, instead of times 5, times 2.5. And then click enter. Click on OK to finish this. And now, as you guys can see, the new parameters have been applied to the design. Okay guys, that's all for parameters. Now let's move on with appearances. Now, what exactly are Fusion 360 appearances? These are basically textures that you can give to your design so that when you render them, they look cooler. Like this photo, for example. See how it has that wood effect? So how can we do that? We have to go to modify and then click on the appearance tool. A window will pop up with lots of folders for each texture that Fusion 360 provides us. Now you will have to download them. So let's say we want this cylinder to look like leather. Maybe like this one. As you guys can see, I haven't downloaded yet, so I will click on the download icon. It might take a while, but once it finishes downloading, you can grab it and then drag it to your design. Then drop it on top of your design, and as you can see, it has been applied. Pretty cool, right? You can also import your own appearances, but honestly, it isn't really necessary, as Fusion 360 already gives you a bunch of textures. And let's not forget that Fusion 360 is a software mostly used for 3D printing, not for 3D art. So really, you won't be needing a lot of textures. And well, designers, that's all for today. If you enjoy, please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, designers!